Oh me, oh my. Lot to digest over the last 24 hours or so. So much stuff coming all at once. That's what she said. We'll start with Wat Tambor and Geo Brood Alpha. If you're any kind of a Star Wars fan, you should remember who Wat Tambor is. If not, you're not a Star Wars fan and you suck. Kind of a meh character in the movies, more than likely going to be very droid centered as he's the Techno Union Army leader. You see there, he's going to function similarly to Hermit Yoda, probably like a C3PO. That's him. He's beautiful. Very pretty young man right there. Not a whole lot of personality. Geonosian Brood Alpha. This one I'm actually kind of excited about, even though it's a made up character a la Colonel Stark. CG's just, coming up with their own stuff now, just for a little bit of cha-ching. Supposedly he hits hard, can summon Geonosian brutes, another made-up thing, into battle alongside him. New hive mind buff. So, in my head, I'm hoping that Geonosian Brood Alpha is going to look something along the lines of this, Geonosian Elite, where at least there's some other reference to this character. Elite subspecies of Geonosians, heavily armored. They ran into Delta Squad, the clones. So I'm hoping maybe it'll look something like this, so we don't have yet a fourth Geonosian that looks exactly the same. Moving on, we're going to go. I have a bad feeling about this. Obviously, this could be a reference to anything, but they CG lay it out specifically as the Acklay. If you have seen, which I'm sure most of you have, hopefully, Attack of the Clones, they're in the Colosseum of sorts, and the Acklay is one of the three beasts that they have to fight in this gladiatorial Colosseum. So you can see here, it's going to be in TB, and this is what this handsome devil looks like. Definitely a looker. Obviously, General Kenobi or Obi-Wan Kenobi fights it in the Colosseum, and he's there, or it's there, along with a couple of other pretty-looking things. So pretty badass. I'm hoping that maybe it will be some sort of a Wampa type. Obviously, it's going to be in TB. Oh, here's another one, Reek, which is another really cool. I would honestly prefer Reek than the Acklay or the other tune that's coming up, Nexu. If you played the old MMO Galaxy or Star Wars Galaxies, yeah, that's the one. It's a long forgotten game. You could actually genetically engineer and grow each of these three characters, and obviously the Nexu brought us the very wonderful Padme Amidala midriff. So let's just enjoy that for a minute. Those three tunes all in the Colosseum. You'll see later, I'll show the TB map. The Colosseum is very much in there, so fingers crossed we get to negotiate that environment. Speaking of negotiating, Obi-Wan Kenobi's capital ship, the Negotiator, also announced, one of many things. It looks like it's going to be similar to Mace, but they very clearly state that it's offensive versus defensive. The question is, the million-dollar question really, will it be able to stifle or combat Millennium Falcon with Admiral Akbar? I imagine you'd have to get out in front of the rebel team, so that's something that we will hopefully see. Going into some of the things about this DSTB, it's only going to be 33 stars, which means it'll be shorter, obviously a lot harder. And one thing that I kind of like about this is this: guilds to band together. Sorry for this rotation, but I really wanted to zoom in on this. Band together. Oh, I love it, because so much lately has kind of been about dividing up the big super guilds, like with the Sith raid rewards. So yeah, I'm hoping that this will counteract that. Here we see that there's some clarification on some of the language that was put out by CG. Can I still receive get from Geonosis? And then people worried about getting their tunes from the light side TB, but whatever. If you're late to the party, sucks to suck. So here is the concept of the map. Lot going on. I'm glad it looks different than Hoth, because Hoth is kind of one-dimensional, and by kind of I mean extremely. So you can see that there's a lot more stuff going on here on the field. You can see the Coliseum. You can see some of these vehicles in here. You can see the Republic Star Destroyer. Top right, you can see the Separatist capital ships. I guess they are the orb, somewhat reminiscent of the Death Star looking things. The drop ships right there, smack dab in the middle. Yeah, so I'm going to zoom in on a couple of these. You can see the Coliseum there, so good chance we fight something there. So you can see some of the walkers, some of the ground vehicles. And then over here, this really looks like where Anakin and Obi-Wan battled Count Dooku, and then Grandmaster Yoda. So I'd be interested to see if there's something like a final level in there. That wouldn't be too surprising. That would be really cool. All right, well, thanks very much, guys, and don't forget, whale harder.